Yare Madad everyone, this is Shehzada Walli. I'm a partner at Stallion Attorneys and a lawyer by profession. On behalf of the Economic Planning Board of Tanzania, I will be recording an economics webinar on the impact of COVID-19 in the employment sector. As you're all aware, the World Health Organization has declared COVID-19 or coronavirus a pandemic on March 11, 2020. And this has affected many businesses, many people, and many homes as well. So I will be talking about how specifically it has impacted the employment sector. As we all know, the economy is run by different sectors such as the manufacturing industries, the trading industries, the telecom industries, the mining industry, and various industries such as professionals, and also those who basically leave their houses to make a living. As we have experienced in the current changing circumstances, we have noticed that a lot of people, a lot of businesses are coming to us specifically as lawyers to tell us on how they can take care of their employees and how they best can protect their employees. So what I will give you is a brief example. One is that you could always have employees come in different timings. So there are companies and businesses that have taken an approach where they're dividing employees in teams. So whereas one team comes on Monday, another team can come on Tuesday. What this does is it basically reduces the risk. I'll give an example of what other businesses do as well. So some businesses have actually asked 50% of the employees to work from home, and others are working from the office. And those who are working from home have been given their equipments. So that again reduces the risks. We also have experienced businesses where the employees are asked to come at a certain hour. So for example, we have the rush hour period in the mornings where people are running and catching buses. So what they have done is they have asked their employees to come a bit later, around probably 10, 11 a.m. and leave a bit earlier, about 3 or 4 p.m. so that they're avoiding the rush hour to get home or to come to work. We also have businesses that have now encourage social distancing within the offices as well to protect their employees. So whereas in one office probably there were 3 or 4 people sitting, now we have a setting where only 2 people would sit in an office. Or if you have an open pool area, then what they would do is they would encourage 50% or 30% of the employees to be coming to work so that the pool area is not filled up with more people. We also have people now who want to know how they could protect their employees at home. So for that, I might speak a little bit more in Kutchi so that you can grasp that. Panke bode ke dhyan rakhon joy, panke naran joy ke panja kam wara ke pa mask diota, pa sanitizer diota, pa loa ke hath torayota. Pan jo thai shake to ghana maru e loka cha kamwara ke joy ke kam me na ache leave dinai. So you can use different ways of protecting these employees as well at work. And specifically, for example, if you have a nanny at home, it's always encouraged to have the nanny to sleep over and not go back home because you never know. She might be using public transport and that might come and affect your baby. You have caretakers for the elderly as well. We would encourage them to stay at home as well and accommodate them at your home. We then have those who come and go. Again, make sure that you're giving them gloves, masks, and sanitizers to go with. If you have more than 2 maids, try and maintain probably 1 maid so that you reduce the risk. And we will talk more about how you can, what you can do with the others that you're letting go or allowing to go home or to stay at home for a longer period of time. If you have a driver, make sure that your car is sanitized so that every time you walk into the car, it is clean. At the same time, if you can avoid a driver, do that. But if you really need one, make sure he's wearing a mask, he's wearing gloves, and he's sanitizing every time. You can amend or change the company policy in respect to benefits, salaries, bonuses, commissions if you feel. But this has to be in consultation with the employees. So a lot of businesses would want to say you might want to save money by saying that we can't pay commissions now, or we can't give you the normal bonuses we were giving you, or the 13th check if you were a company that's giving the 13th check. All these policies can be amended or changed, but they have to be in consultation with the employees. You need to give a notice to attend a meeting to the employees. Preferably a reasonable notice is about 48 hours. Once you give a notice to the employee, then you need to have that meeting with them within the same notice period time. Explain to them what has affected your business, how your sales have gone down, what is probably the scenario affecting your business specifically, and discuss with them how this change of policy will affect their lives as well. Once they have understood you and agreed with you, you will sign an agreement which will be a mutual agreement between you and your employees. That agreement will then allow you to basically amend or change the policies. So yes, you can amend the policies, but please make sure that it's in consultation with your employees and not at your sole decision making. Yes, you do have to give resources to your employees if they're going to be working from home. But also, it is not bad if you give them additional resources while they're at home. So resources such as if your employee is going to be using a laptop, then give them a laptop. If your employee is going to be using certain tools that they require, then give them those tools. Also, it is not a bad idea to give them hand sanitizers, masks, and also gloves if they are going to be walking around and moving to different offices as part of your work. So resources such as internet connectivity are also very important. We've heard and we've also advised clients who want to have their employees work from home to basically give them a package probably. So you could either buy them a package where they can do hotspotting, or you could actually buy them modems if your company has enough resources and financial muscle power to do that. But make sure that you equip them with also certain apps. So you may want to train them on how to use Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Skype, because that's going to be your new medium of communication. So don't just let them go without training them. And you can also provide online training to them as you keep encourage them from working from home. But otherwise, if you think that your business doesn't have the financial muscle power to probably acquire Zoom accounts or Microsoft Teams, you can as well settle with Telegram, WhatsApp, FaceTime. As long as you're equipping them with some level of internet connectivity, that should be good. But also remember that when you are allowing them to use laptops or take away files at home, make sure that you have a policy to govern that as well. So you may want to put up an IT policy, a computer, laptop home takeaway policy, a file taking home policy as well. So make sure that you're not putting your business at risk just because somebody is going to be working from home. Make sure you protect it by having various policies in place to govern the work home policy. It may be a sad scenario where you may have to let some of your employees work from home, but also you may have to give unpaid leave to some of the employees. Now, yes, you can give unpaid leave, you can give 50% salary to your employees, but there is a process to it. So for instance, you're a business that has currently been going through a loss, or your sales are not as expected, what you can do is you can implement a 50% pay policy or a paid leave, unpaid leave policy. But before you initiate any of these policies, you must again call a meeting of all the employees, or at least the senior employees that represent the rest of the employees. If your company has more than 20, 50 employees, then you may call a meeting of the senior management or the representatives of the employees. This meeting has to be called by way of a notice. So you need to give them a 48-hour notice minimum to attend the meeting. At the meeting, you need to explain to them the impact COVID-19 has had on your business, your sales numbers, probably if there are any losses you've incurred, you may want to share that with them. At the end of that meeting, you need to make a suggestion to them. Your suggestion could be a 50% pay cut for those who are working from home. Your suggestion could be half paid leave, half unpaid leave. Your suggestion could be 1 month of paid leave, 2 months of unpaid leave. There is really not a strict policy related to that. But you need to keep in mind that whatever you're offering them, whatever suggestions you're making, should be in discussion with them. Hear them out as well. Hear their concerns as well. Once you have a set decision, you need to put it down in writing by what is called a collective bargaining agreement. This collective bargaining agreement is signed by all the employees now to agree to the decision you've made. However, you might reach a stage where the employees are being difficult and they're saying, no, we're not going to take a pay cut, we're not going to take an unpaid leave, or they may refuse to compromise in their benefits. Here now, if you think that your business is not doing well and your sales are dropping, you may approach the redundancy sort of avenue, where you might want to go for a retrenchment. Now, one thing you need to know, if you are going for a retrenchment, it will impact you as well, because you will then have to pay the terminal benefits, the related leave benefits as well, and you may have to pay severance pay as well. So you then need to basically weigh out which one will work better for your business. However, that is the last recourse that you can take, which is retrenchment. And if you are taking a retrenchment, then I would always advise you to seek for a legal opinion from your auditors, your accountants, and your lawyers as well on the impact it will have on your business in terms of finance. But as long as your employees are willing to basically compromise with you, see if you can approach it by a paid leave, unpaid leave policy, or a 50% pay for people who are working from home. For domestic workers and drivers and nannies, again, you can do the same thing, so it doesn't change for them. If you are going to allow them to work from home, which is basically impossible, but I would say let them go home and stay home until the situation is under control, then you have to call them for a meeting. So don't ignore them just because they're domestic workers or drivers or nannies. Call them for a meeting, explain to them the situation, tell them that you'll be working from home now, or you'll be going home now, and you'll be home until for an indefinite period. Either pay their salaries or pay 50% of their salaries, or if you think after a month or two you can't even afford to pay their salaries, you can call them back and tell them that, look, now I can't pay your salaries, and explore the avenue of unpaid leave or redundancy and retrenchment. Earlier, I also told you about those who you may want to keep at home in terms of domestic workers, nannies. So if they are going to be staying at your home, make sure you're also taking care of them just the way you're taking care of yourself. So make sure you're giving them the right food, vitamin C. You're also giving them sanitizers. You're asking them to wash their hands every time they leave your house and come back. Make sure you're also buying them masks, and you're also educating them. We understand currently the biggest challenge is education. A lot of these people don't have the right education. They don't know what coronavirus is. They don't know what COVID-19 is. They don't know how it spreads. So try and educate them more as well. And once again, I encourage you, If you have more than 2 maids, then try and limit them to 1. If you have more than 2 nannies, limit them to 1. If you have more than 2 drivers, limit them to 1. So reduce the number of people as much as you can and keep only those who are necessary and essential to your home or to your business as well. So protect them just the way you would protect yourself. The key message here is that you need to educate, you need to protect, and you need to keep sharing. What we normally don't do is we don't share with them. We don't share with our employees what we're going through. It's very important for you to share with them so that they understand your challenges and they may be able to also contribute towards the solution. So keep sharing with them, explain to them yourselves, explain to them your business position, and I believe they will understand. As a going away note, I would say, for those of you who have more queries, more questions, please write to EPB. They're always available. You can also basically call them and ask them for questions, and they will pass them to us, and we will keep releasing more statements. But it is more important for you to understand, even those who are currently employees and are going to work, don't go to work without wearing a mask. Even when you're at work in your offices, put on a mask. I always have my mask with me here, and I put it on every time I leave the office, whether I'm in the office, even if I'm talking to an employee within my premises, I will be wearing a mask, because now the virus is an airborne virus, so it stays in air. And the only way to protect yourself and your families back home is to wear a mask. For those of you who can keep washing your hands as many times as possible. Don't touch your face. Use sanitizers as much as possible. If you're working in a place where you need to keep touching documents and moving things around, wear a glove if you can, as much as possible, so that you're also not touching your face, but at the same time you're not taking the viruses in your hands. Unfortunately, I'm not a doctor, so I can't give you a lot more, but as a lawyer, I will tell you, share, protect, educate, and stay safe. Thank you very much.